If you have the right kind of eyes, everything is absolutely beautiful.
There's no relative thing in this.
Relative thing is a social factor, again, it's a training. It depends on what kind of data has gone into your mind. When you're unhappy, only certain things are beautiful, certain things are ugly. When you're very happy, you look at anything, everything looks absolutely beautiful. See, there are many ways to look at this. One simple way is, right now you may be identified with many things, starting from your physical body, to your mind, to your education, to your religion, to your society, to various things that you hold in your life. But when you simply sit here, if you simply sit with me right now, you're just a piece of life, isn't it? A certain amount of life energy, that's all you are, isn't it so? Identified with many, many things, but fundamentally you're just a certain amount of life energy. So this life energy which you call as myself at this moment, this life energy sometimes has been very joyful. Has it been? Has it been? Please say yes, otherwise it's tragedy. Sometimes it's been utterly miserable, sometimes very peaceful, sometimes turmoil, sometimes agony, sometimes ecstasy. This has happened to this, isn't it? So this life energy which you call as myself is capable of all these things. So if this life energy is capable of all these things, if you were given a choice, what kind of expression your life energy should find right now in this moment, what would you choose, agony or ecstasy? Definitely ecstasy. So if there was a conscious choice about how to keep your life energies right now, definitely you would have kept yourself absolutely joyful and ecstatic. Only because a large part of you is happening unconsciously, other things which you do not want are happening within you. What you do not want is happening in the world. You cannot stop it 100%. Only to some extent we manage these things. But within you, you are the only ingredient. In the world there are a million things. See, if we want to create a situation the way we want it, we need the cooperation of 100 people around us. All of them will never cooperate 100%. They will all play the game that way, isn't it? In any given situation. Even if you're just two people in the family, you cannot have the situation 100% the way you want it. Yes or no? This is the reality with the outside. But with the inside, you are the only reality. Nobody in the world happens your way. At least this one person must happen your way, isn't it? But right now even this person is not happening your way. That's why you're asking what is the way to joy. Your mind is not happening the way you want it, your body is not happening the way you want it, your emotion is not happening the way you want it, nor your life energies are happening the way you want it. We need to do something about it, isn't it? If all these four are happening the way you want them, you would definitely be joyful every moment of your life, isn't it? Irrespective of what's happening around you. Because the moment you say something is good, essentially you have to make something else bad, isn't it? Otherwise how? No, see the very idea of goodness is coming because we consider something else as bad, isn't it? The more good I think I am, the more I will think all these people are not okay.
No, but I also think that…
Please look at the fundamentals of goodness. How is it no?
It's a very relative word.
It is very relative. See, someone who thinks he's very good in his mind, nobody in the world will be okay. If nobody in the world is okay, it's not a good question of goodness, it's a question of sickness.
No, but if somebody thinks he's good, then he feels others are also good.
See, right now, the idea of goodness, when you use the word good, it cannot exist without the opposite of bad. It cannot exist. It doesn't matter how much you try to play it up, how much makeup you apply in the bad and say we will accept the bad also. The idea of goodness has come from considering something else as bad. The more and more you get identified with what you call as goodness, the more and more you will resist what you call as bad. In this resistance, the moment you say, I am good, you have divided the world into two. The moment you divide the world into two, there is no question of inclusion. There is a certain exclusion, isn't it?
There's an apple lying here and there's no other apple.
I'm sorry?
There's an apple lying here and there's no other apple around. And I say this apple is good because it is good.
See, because you have seen rotten apples too. Okay? If you had never seen a rotten apple, you would just say it's an apple. You wouldn't say it's a good apple.
Yes, that you have seen. But that doesn't make this apple bad, no?
I'm not saying that. See, only because there is a rotten apple which you consider as bad. A rotten apple is not a bad apple. A rotten apple is feeding other kinds of organisms, okay? What you call as a good apple tastes good in your mouth. Rotten apple is tasting very good for some other organism, that's why it is rotten. Somebody else, this apple only one human being eats, that apple a million organisms are eating. So your idea of a bad apple is a rotten apple simply because somebody else is eating it, it's bad for you. It is not a bad apple. It is just being eaten by somebody else with whom you don't identify, who are microorganisms.
Shiva Shambho Shambho Shiva Shambho Shambho Shiva Shambho Shambho Shiva Shambho Shiva